Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Working on the True Spirit again, doing this frame up restoration. Next up, we've got to get the rear leaf springs onto this frame. Let's get to it. The shackles from the rear springs are a different design. So instead of the two flats and bolts, they're this stamped shape, but they are similarly rusty and crusty, so they've got to come apart, get cleaned up before they can go back on the vehicle. In case you're thinking I made that look easy, it's only because it's the second one. I did the first one to get rid of all my mistakes and figure out exactly how to get these things out. Since these aren't mounted to a frame or anything, I think the air hammer is going to be harder to use. So I'm going to try cutting this with the Sawzall first, then see if we can just drive it out with a drift. I bought this master kit of bushings. It says here it's for a 72 to 85 four-wheel drive pickup master kit. Doesn't say even Ford, Chevy, anything like that. I honestly bought it primarily for the bushings for the cab mounts, but it also does have leaf spring bushings. I used those on the front springs. They worked great. But when I tried to use them on the rear, here's the bushing. Here's the sleeve that I cut out. You can see there's quite a bit of a gap there, and it doesn't go in the sleeve. It's supposed to go right into the shackle. You can see it's nowhere near big enough for that. And the bolts that came out, it will go in there, but boy, you'd have to really drive it. I mean, it does not fit. It's a little bit small. I've double checked and triple checked. The parts that are in the box are correct for what's supposed to be in the kit. It's just, it does not fit this application. So, thanks, Energy Suspension. I also have checked. There are no other options from Energy Suspension for this vehicle. This is the size that you get. So, if you're looking for bushings for a, tin grill Dodge, I know that all of the rear leaf springs are the same because I've done a lot of research on finding ones to replace it. All the leaf springs are the same. Therefore, it tells me that these bushings just are not for this application. I did find these bushings. This is from a company called Daystar Off-Road. These, nicely, they have a chart on their website that gives you the dimensions of the bushing, both diameter, depth, the size of the fastener that goes through, all kinds of things. So you just pick it by part number, by dimension. And so this is the correct part number for this. You can see here it says 69 to 93 Dodge 2 and 4-wheel drive. Now, it says front or rear. These would not work on the front. They only will work on the rear, at least with the springs that I have. Maybe if you've got 3/4 ton or 1 ton leaf springs on the front, maybe they have a larger eye. At any rate, these are the ones that I found. And this bushing here fits nice and snug in there. And the internal sleeves that came with it fit these bolts just perfect. So, with that bushing and this sleeve, we can reassemble these shackles. Before I reassemble it, I'm going to lubricate and hone the inside of these just to get out any of that rust and anything else going on in there. Then we'll lubricate it with the silicone lube that came with, actually came with the new ones too, but this one's already opened, the Energy Suspension, so I'll use those. So I'm just going to use this. It's just got WD-40 in there. I'll use it as the cleaner and lubricant. And then I've got this brake cylinder hone that I'll use to clean them up. Alright, that's in. I'm also going to lubricate the inside of these just to help keep them from rusting to the bolts. I am trying to prevent rust on this, so instead of using the old bolts, which were fairly rusty at least on the ends, I bought brand new bolts. These are 5/8 18, so fine thread. They are the same length, same diameter. The head's just quite a bit bigger. I couldn't find anything of this small size, and I got nylock nuts for it as well. So I'm just going to assemble it now. I originally tried putting that shackle in when it was upside down, so from below, it did not want to go. This way maybe gravity will help me out. The rear leaves, one of them, this spring kind of aligns with the center of the eye. The other one hooks toward the bottom. This goes toward the front. That goes toward the rear. Start by putting it in the rear hanger. Then you can just lift the other end up into that hanger up there. Because there really isn't much room there, I'm not going to be able to use this. I'm going to have to reuse this original nut. So I'm going to get this cleaned up and get it on there. Finally, we'll swing the end of the spring up into this hanger. Now, if it doesn't line up with this bolt hole, we go to the back shackle and we can swing the shackle forward or back to get it to align. My experience is they never align right off. I've got to come this way about 1.5 inches. All right, I've got them bolted in. These 5/8 18 grade 8. The maximum torque spec for these is 180 foot-pounds. I only went to 150, which should be more than enough. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.